Alright, so I am super excited for this episode of my favorite audio products because I'm going to be talking about products which are across varying price ranges and have completely different experiences as well. There's this budget IEM which sounds fantastic and is criminally underpriced. And then we've got a pair of audiophile grade budget truly wireless earbuds that many more people need to know about. And there's a pair of flagship killer IEMs that many more people need to know about. And I've also got two of the most popular IEMs under rupees 2000 right now. And finally, Sennheiser's new HD620S, which is a closed back headphone with open back studio grade sound. Alright, let's get on with it. If you're here for the first time, I'm Esha. You're watching Trakin English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. Now, I really want to start off by talking about the Truthier Gate, and this one has taken the audio community by storm, at least in India. And the reason for that is plain and simple. This is the budget IEM to get if you're starting off on your audiophile journey. Mainly because the 10mm drivers inside offer a balanced sound signature that is suited for most genres of music. So I've been on a classic J-pop loop lately, and in Stay With Me by Miki Matsubara, this Truthier Gate does a fantastic job of actually creating that wide soundscape that the song demands. Especially for the price, the Gate offers good width in the soundstage. Of course, you don't get vertical height. What I also like about the Truthier Gate's sound tuning is definitely the bass response. So it's fast, it's tight, and it's fairly impactful as well. So in Supermassive Black Hole by Muse, you can actually feel the bass. It's very, very impactful, especially the mid bass is damn good. But I would have definitely liked a little bit more bass in the sub bass region, but still, it does a fairly good job, especially for the price. I also listened to Oashika from 99 Songs, which is one of Rehman's underrated albums, and this song has this ethereal feel to it, and Shashwat Singh's voice has a very magical quality to it, and that actually has been reproduced well by the Gate to give you that open, airy feeling which is required for this song. Alright, talking about songs, I know that you guys have been making requests for me to share my playlist, so I made a specific one for all the songs that I've tested for this specific video, and it's an Apple Music playlist, so you can go and check that in the description. While you're at it, for all the effort that we put in, not in just me testing these products, but also for all the kind of video production effort that goes in, do give us your support, hit that subscribe button, I'd love it. Now coming back to the Gate, it's not like it's the best. I do have a few concerns with the sound. Most importantly, the treble extension is not to my liking. Of course, it's not fatiguing, so if you are sensitive to treble, then you might like it, but still, I find it not enough. It also has limited technicality, so couple that with the treble extension, I was craving for my Moondrop Chew 2 after a while. Also, the Truthier Gate has a transparent plastic shell which shows what's inside, but it showcases like two thin wires. What's even the point of that? It's like if the Maruti 800 had a transparent shell and you could see the insides of it. Who cares? Although that being said, the cable quality on the Gate is absolutely fantastic, and these braided loops are actually very sturdy. And finally, at least for my ear type, I found the fit slightly fatiguing for long listening sessions, but your mileage could vary. Now talking about comfort, the new Tangzhou Wan'er SG Cross Headphone Zone collaboration would be good for you if you're looking for comfort. But yeah, the name's absolutely horrendous, so for the rest of this video, I'm gonna call it SG, so bear with me. Of course, these do fit me really well, and the sound signature is such that it's perfect for comfortable listening sessions. It's got a U-shaped sound, and it's very, very warm. The good thing is that it sounds clean and it's got dollops of bass, but the treble extension was slightly limited compared to even something like the Truthier Gate. Having said that, the treble still sounds very good for, 2000 rupee IEMs. And like I mentioned, it's got a U-shaped sound. So you've got warm bass, fairly decent treble, but the mids are slightly recessed. Especially in a song like Perfect Days, sung and composed by Lou Reed, which is actually my go-to track for testing vocals, he does sound slightly distant in the mix. Moreover, the SG also lacks in technicalities, but that's not what it's going for. It's actually going for a warm, comfortable, sort of comforting sound, which it does well. But yeah, it's not something that I go for. Now, sound staging, while it's not as wide as the Gate, it's pretty good. The imaging especially is actually very, very good. Now, the SG's shell quality is actually pretty good. It's made of plastic. It's actually better than the Truthier Gate, that's for sure. But this special edition of the SG has a design that is definitely not my scene. It looks pretty gaudy. I wouldn't be caught dead wearing these, but if you like it, design is subjective. You might like it. Also, it's got an inline mic, which works really well. It's got a remote as well, so you can play pause music, so that's not a problem. So the SG is definitely a good option to consider under 2000, but truth be told, it wouldn't make my list of top 3 IEMs under 2000. In fact, why don't you guys take a guess and tell me what my top 3 picks of best IEMs under 2000 would be in the comment section. Alright, so now these are the Dita Audio Project M, and they are my reference grade IEMs at the moment. Firstly, the unboxing experience is worth every single rupee that you pay for it. It's pretty bold of the brand to actually put the frequency response curve on the box itself. And you wouldn't be entirely wrong to think that this looks like a toolbox. And well, what I would suggest is you might see the name here, Thanos Sustainer. Just do one thing, search for it, and you'll see the reference of why this looks like a toolbox in the first place. However, one problem with this thing is that it's of course made of plastic, so it's a little fidgety and it can break. Also, it doesn't have enough space to actually store this without you having to do some finger gymnastics to sort of shut it. And now here's the thing, that's because the cable itself is kind of thick and sturdy, the cable quality talking about, which is fantastic. And along with that cable, you will notice that there are multiple connectors, right? You get this 3.5mm jack and you also get a 4.4 balanced jack as well. And apart from that, if you want, you can also buy a separate Type-C jack, which actually is extra. You have to pay 3,000 rupees more for it. But let me make this easier for you. Don't buy this. It's not good. And finally, just take a look at these gorgeous shells. So you've got a transparent resin shell, inside which is an enclosure which is made of stainless steel. So your drivers are inside this stainless steel enclosure. Even the bore is actually made of aluminum. So the construction quality is just top notch. All of this beautiful engineering, and the enclosure actually houses two drivers, one PM1 Plus custom dynamic driver and Noel's balanced armature drivers as well. And with this setup, what you get is a sound that is intense and supremely engaging. In fact, the detailed retrieval on these, if you're listening to very well produced music, is absolutely exquisite. And I call this a flagship killer primarily because the detailed retrieval is sometimes on par with stuff that costs upwards of $1 lakh. So the sound signature is a perfectly balanced one. So you've got a very good mid-bass slam, you've got excellent sub-bass extension, and even the treble is bright, it's sparkly, yet it's non-fatiguing. But most importantly, the mids are not recessed. So you actually can listen to the vocals without none of the other frequencies troubling it. And of course, it does sound open, it does sound airy, and the soundstage is very, very good. So when you listen to Led Zepp's Stairway to Heaven, you might have noticed that there's the lead guitar, which is placed on the left channel, and you've got the bass guitar on the right channel. And it's not just that it has a wide soundstage, it's got vertical height as well. So for example, that lead guitar that you can listen to is actually placed slightly higher, so you can hear it here. You know, I made a colleague listen to these and he felt that it was Dolby Atmos tuning. Genuinely, you don't need any sort of software trickery to ensure that you get good soundstage, even stereo audio. When they're tuned well, the sound staging, if it's good, you're gonna feel like the sound is coming from different parts of your head. Even the instrument separation and imaging is class leading, so you can listen to every single instrument in most of the mixes. And the bass attack is so fast, impactful, and you've got dollops of it as well. It's not like the bass is lean, it's actually very, very heavy. And especially in a song like Survive, which is from Childish Gambino's latest album, which is fantastic by the way, listen to it. That song can sometimes get a little grating because it's like a complex production, but this one does absolute justice to it. This is something that most budget IEMs like these ones out here cannot really pull off really well, but this one, obviously, it's very good. Also, while the impedance is rated at 32 ohms and you can drive it with any source that you have, including a smartphone, if you give it more power, it does scale up really well too. It's an instant recommendation from me, especially if you're a little deep into the pit of audiophilia. And if you have, 30,000 to spare, because these are pretty expensive. Having said that, these have replaced my Moondrop Blessing 2s now. Alright, talking about Moondrop, we have the Moondrop Space Travel finally. I know a bunch of you were requesting in the comments. We got it. Of course, it's a terrible name for an audio product, but it punches way above its price class. It's just about 2,900 rupees. And for that, the audio quality that you get with these are pretty good. First things first, it's got the best soundstage on a pair of budget truly wireless earbuds. So much so that I actually found it to be wider sounding than the Oppo Enco Air 3 Pro and the Enco X2. So the sound signature is a mild U-shaped sound, but definitely with some recessed mids. You've got a very forward sounding mid bass, which is very attacking, but sometimes it tries to take prominence in the mix. For example, in Kendrick Lamar's Not By Us, Lamar's voice takes a backseat and the bass sort of comes forward. But this is a good kind of bass, so you don't really feel bad about it. But yeah, if you're somebody who wants a pair of truly wireless earbuds with excellent mids, then maybe this might not be for you, but still, it sounds really good. Also, by the way, these buds are very warm sounding, just like the Tanzu Wan'er SG. Add to that, you get a comfortable fit as well, so for long listening sessions, it shouldn't be a problem at all. The imaging on this is actually pretty good. You can actually make out the different instruments that are playing in the mix, but the technicalities are definitely not there. And the treble extension could have been slightly better, and sometimes the sub bass is completely missing. Now I'm getting really critical with the sound, but Let me remind you the price again. It's 3,000 rupees. For this price, what you get in the market are board, noise. Why do you guys keep buying them, man? Seriously, just pick one of these because these are audio products at the end of the day. Your purchase decision should be based on audio and not if it does good ANC or if it has good controls or, it has a good app. Well, all of those matter too, I know, but they shouldn't be a primary recommendation. And if you're talking about all of those things on this, they're bad. They're absolutely bad. The ANC is, average at best. The app actually is horrendous. And if you talk about the case, it looks good. But what have they done? I mean, I don't understand. There's a cavity which is open, and that open cavity attracts a lot of dust and grime, so you'll be putting those in your ears. And to take these out is a chore. And imagine if you're traveling in the Mumbai local, this happens. But then again, these sound really good and they don't cost much. So I'm willing to look past those issues. Alright, now let's talk about the flagship product of this video, the KZ-EDC Pro. You know what the price of these are? 649 rupees. And for that price, it's a home run. What you get is a mostly balanced sound with surprisingly good bass extension, weighty mids, and decent treble extension too, especially for 650 rupees. Now for the price, don't expect any miracles in terms of imaging or sound staging or technicalities or detailed retrieval, but it still does a very good job of letting you enjoy your music for, virtually nothing. So I've been listening to this track, Roll My Stone by RC Drive, and these ones actually did a fairly good job of reproducing them. The only concern that I have with the sound is that the mids are slightly shouty sometimes. That is something that could have been controlled, and maybe you can control with the Wavelet app on Android phones. Yeah, I mean, for 649, just buy these, man. I mean, what's there to say more about it? Alright, so finally what we have are the new Sennheiser HD620S. You can consider these as reference grade headphones which can be used for studio monitoring as well. So the sound signature is not entirely flat, but it's very close to that. So you can actually, trust it to give you the kind of detailed retention that you expect from when you're producing music. But what's interesting about these is the fact that they're actually closed pack headphones with an open airy soundstage, and that's what Sennheiser is promising as well, and it sort of achieves this. And when we talk about detailed retrieval and sound staging, especially in Time by Pink Floyd in the initial bit when you have the chime and the clock bells, it does sound good. These are still closed back headphones with an impedance of 150 ohms. So it needs a lot of power and your smartphones won't be able to drive them to their full potential. So what you'll need along with these headphones is definitely a DAC amp that can support up to 150 ohms. Sometimes portable DAC amps can also do it. But yeah, technically with a desktop grade DAC amp, it sort of flourishes. And we actually had to ask Sennheiser to send us one so that we can actually test these out. So if you don't have a setup already, then maybe you will have to buy one separately, so that adds to the cost as well. Which also means that these are not actually meant for portable listening because your setup will become heavy and bulky, right? And apart from that, these don't even close flat. So yeah, traveling with them is a bit of a pain. So you might be thinking, Aishad, how is this one of your favorite headphones? Well, primarily because in a closed pack form factor, it does very good open airy sound. That's important. And it does sound very good. It's just that I don't know who the intended target audience for this is. And the pricing is fairly decent too. It's 30 grand. I mean, you must be thinking 30,000 is fairly decent, but headphones are actually pretty expensive. Alright, so this is possibly one of the best episodes of my favorite audio products that I've done till date, because I tested a wide variety of products that I loved listening to, and I keep switching between them, enjoying my time with them. And I've actually asked a bunch of folks in our office to come and test it out as well, because that's what this journey is about, so that more people listen to good audio on good products. And you know what? The idea is to actually create a larger community of audiophiles in India, which is actually growing, by the way, right now. And to do it without judgment. So let's say #NoJudgmentZone. And if you're already someone who's deep into the trenches of the hobby, and if you're trying to help someone new, just be nice to them, because this community can get really toxic sometimes. Don't be that person. If you want to buy one of these products, the links to all should be in the description below, so go check it out. And one thing I must definitely mention is that to create this list, I actually tested a bunch of different products as well, in which there was one product that came in which I am not really a fan of, and I must mention and ask you to stay away from buying it. And that is the Focal Betis, or is it Batis? I don't know. But these are wireless ANC headphones from Focal, which is like a premier audiophile grade headphone manufacturer. And the Focal Betis is actually not good. You can just stick to your Bose or your Sennheiser and good to go, because those are also pretty expensive. So I really don't want you to waste your money. Alright, so that's it from me for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, do spam the comment section. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe. I think I'll take my whiskey neat.